Voyager, the interstellar messengers. Let's dive right into this explainer.
14.4 billion miles. That's right, 14.4 billion. That is Voyager 1's current distance from Earth. To put that into perspective, that's 155 astronomical units, with one unit being the distance from the Earth to the Sun. That makes it literally the most distant human-made object in existence. It is so incredibly far out there that it takes light over 21 hours just to reach it. Just wrap your head around that for a second.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how these twin probes took completely different paths. You'd think they traveled together, right? Nope. Voyager 2 actually launched first in August 1977. But Voyager 1, which launched a few weeks later, was put on this faster, much more direct trajectory. It totally overtook Voyager 2 early on, and today, they are both escaping the solar system in completely different directions.
Section 1. The Planetary Grand Tour, or as I like to call it, a cosmic pinball game.
Taking advantage of a super rare planetary alignment, Voyager 2 pulled off this unprecedented rapid-fire flyby of 4 outer planets. We're talking Jupiter in '79, Saturn in '81, Uranus in '85, and Neptune in 1989. It was basically a giant game of cosmic pinball, using the gravity of one planet to just sling it right toward the next.
And these flybys completely rewrote the science textbooks. I mean, they gave us our first detailed look at Jupiter's Great Red Spot, revealing it as this massive, rotating storm. They found active volcanoes on Io and spotted these wild, linear fractures on Europa that hinted at a hidden subsurface ocean. Then, over at Saturn, they peered into Titan's thick haze, mapped out all these intricate ring gaps, and even discovered new moons like Atlas, Prometheus, and Pandora. The sheer volume of data was just off the charts.
Now, after Saturn, Voyager 1 headed up and out of the planetary plane, but Voyager 2 kept going. And here's the crazy part. Almost everything we know about the ice giants to this day comes from this one fleeting visit. Voyager 2 remains the only spacecraft to ever visit Uranus and Neptune. It found 11 new moons and an unexplained magnetic field at Uranus, and discovered a new ring system and active volcanic vents on Neptune's massive moon, Triton. Just a monumental achievement.
Section 2. Surviving deep space, decades after launch.
So you might be wondering, how on Earth is 1970s technology still functioning billions of miles away? Well, out in the deep depths of space, the sun is way too dim for solar panels. Instead, these probes are powered by plutonium-fueled thermoelectric generators. And sure, the cameras are turned off to save juice, but Voyager 2 still has 5 working instruments, and Voyager 1 has 4. It is absolutely wild that both are still operational, faithfully taking measurements of the interstellar medium every single day.
But getting that data back to us, that is an engineering marvel in itself. The spacecraft have to keep their 12-foot radio dishes pointed exactly at Earth, using these tiny, precise puffs from hydrazine thrusters. And because of the inverse square law, where signals weaken exponentially over distance, Earth's deep space network actually had to undergo massive upgrades. We're talking expanding parabolic dish antennas from 64 to 70 meters just to catch those incredibly weak, fading microwave whispers.
All that intense effort was totally worth it, though, especially when it came to confirming the heliopause. That's the boundary where the solar wind finally becomes too weak to push against the interstellar medium, and the pressure just balances out. By pushing past this exact boundary in 2012 and 2018, the Voyagers became the very first spacecraft to operate in true interstellar space, a staggering 11 billion miles from the Sun.
Section 3. The Golden Record. An interstellar capsule.
Now, these probes aren't just incredible scientific tools, they are literal interstellar time capsules. Affixed to the side of each spacecraft is a golden phonograph record. Curated by a committee led by the legendary Carl Sagan, this is our message in a bottle. It's packed with 115 images of Earth's flora, fauna, and culture, spoken greetings in 55 languages, natural sounds like breaking surf, music ranging from Beethoven to Chuck Berry, and even an hour of recorded human brainwaves. And get this, it's plated in uranium, so that any future discoverers can measure the predictable radioactive decay and calculate exactly how old it is.
The record also carries a beautiful inscription by U.S. President Jimmy Carter, which reads, "This is a present from a small, distant world, a token of our sounds, our science, our images, our music, our thoughts, and our feelings. We are attempting to survive our time so we may live into yours." That really just perfectly captures the profound hope and humanity etched right into that golden disk. Section 4. The Pale Blue Dot, a Philosophical Legacy. Let's slow down for a second, because the philosophical legacy here is huge. On February 14, 1990, Voyager 1 was getting ready to shut down its cameras forever to save power for its long interstellar trek. But right before it did, it turned those cameras homeward one last time. From 3.7 billion miles away, it captured a series of images known as the family portrait of the solar system. And in one specific frame, it caught Earth, just a tiny fragile speck of bluish-white light suspended in a sunbeam against the dark, endless void.
Carl Sagan's iconic words about that image completely shifted how we view our place in the universe. He wrote, "That's here. That's home. That's us." He pointed out that the Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena, and that seeing our tiny world from such a distance really underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly and compassionately with one another, and to preserve and cherish that pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. It is a striking, incredibly humbling reminder of our fragile existence.
So as the twin Voyagers continue to plunge deeper and deeper into the silent, unknown depths of the interstellar medium, it leaves us with a truly staggering thought about our legacy. Who or what might eventually intercept our ultimate message in a bottle? Thanks for exploring this explainer with me.